NAACP. On February 12, 1909, what is now the nation's oldest and largest grassroots civil rights organization, was formed. The NAACP, which stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, has been a driving force in fighting race-based discrimination in the United States since its founding. In 1909, racial injustices were common. Segregation was legal in many parts of the United States. Employment discrimination was common, and voting rights were often denied. People of color across the country had to live with the fear of racial violence and lynching. And so, the NAACP was formed, built on the ideals of another group, the Niagara Movement. W.E.B. Du Bois, along with 29 other prominent African Americans, started the Niagara Movement in 1905. They met near Niagara Falls and wrote a manifesto calling for equal civil rights, the end of racial discrimination, and the full recognition of humanity for people of color. In 1909, many white liberals in New York City joined with some of the Niagara Movement's black intellectual leaders, and from that group, the NAACP was born. In addition to W.E.B. Du Bois, other NAACP founders included renowned civil rights leaders Ida B. Wells and Mary Church Terrell. The NAACP's mission has been to achieve a fully integrated society with equal rights for all. Its national leadership has always been interracial, even though the greater membership has been mostly African American. To achieve its mission, the NAACP has not only focused on using the legal system to challenge discrimination, but also on convincing all people of the need for racial equality through speeches, organizing, and legal advocacy. Since its inception, the NAACP has had a long list of legal accomplishments and successes. The NAACP's first challenge was fighting Jim Crow laws, which maintained legal segregation. In 1915, the NAACP was instrumental in outlawing the Grandfather Clause, which allowed white people to get around literacy tests that were used to prevent people of color from voting in many states. From 1920 to 1938, the organization flew a flag outside its New York City offices with the words, "A man was lynched yesterday," to call attention to the rampant lynching occurring in the United States. In 1954, the NAACP's chief counsel, Thurgood Marshall, successfully argued the case of Brown v. Board of Education before the Supreme Court, ending the legal segregation of schools. During the Civil Rights Movement, the NAACP co-organized the March on Washington in 1963, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. The NAACP lobbied for the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which outlawed discrimination, and the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which made it illegal to deny people the right to vote based on their race. Today, the NAACP remains actively committed to fighting discrimination. Its scope has widened to include fighting inequality in economics, healthcare, education, voter empowerment, and the criminal justice system. To this day, the NAACP continues to serve as an important legal advocate for all civil rights issues.
own niece was in the meetings when I was like, whoa, I saw footage of her. That made me very happy. But I really would love for everyone to see a compilation of all the meetings you guys been through. Are you ready for me?
Yeah, I got the meeting pulled up.
All right, let us know when you're ready to play.
Generation leadership, advocacy, and litigation. So Matt has definitely tapped in with us on one of our pillars, and that would be the next generation leadership with our youth council and our young committees coming through Spring Valley. So how about you tap in with us and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So first and foremost, man, shout out to my youth council. I think it's probably the best team that I've ever worked with in Rockland. Yeah. I mean,
They're dope.
DJ, shout out to you. You know what you do. But yeah, as far as being a part of the youth council and being a representative for the youth council, to be honest, probably one of the best honors that I've had in my life. Just because working and having a couple conversations with the students that I work with, they're really smart. And they're really good at what they do. Like, these are some kids that, like, in middle school know way more about their lives than I do at my age, and it's scary sometimes, man. I'm not even gonna lie, it's kind of intimidating. It's like I have to step up to match their level. But one thing that I enjoy really about it is really just empowering them. For the most part, a lot of them do come into the organization. They're scared, like they have all these big goals that they want to do, and like at that age, life is either really simple to you or it's the scariest thing in the world. But working with these kids and seeing how confident they are and what they want to do and what their futures look like, man, how do you not like want to work with them? How do you say no to those types of kids? Um,
For those who are interested in joining, what's the age group or the age limit for the youth council?
the age group for the youth council is 18 and under. So as long as you're under 18 years old, you're eligible for the youth council. So unfortunately, we did have some members that had to age out. But what I try to do is just keep them connected with the youth council and kind of use them more as like advisors and like peer supports for the most part. So like our former president of the youth council, your niece, I
Tell
love
you
that.
shocked.
She's amazing, man. That girl's so smart. She got a bright future ahead of her. She's been, yeah, you give yourself a pat on the back. She's actually been really helpful for me to understand what it's like being a member of the youth council. Unfortunately, I wasn't a member when I was younger, so I don't really have that firsthand experience of what it's like to actually go through and be part of a prestigious organization like the NAACP. So every now and then, whenever I'm faced with a situation, I'll just get on the phone, call my little advisor, and hey, how would you handle a situation, or how did you feel when you were going through the situation? What would be the best way that somebody could help you when you were going through that phase? Thankfully, she had a lot of people that were supporting of her as she was moving up through the youth council, and now being able to pass on her experience through me to other students as well. To me, that's really what it's all about. As far as my position goes, I don't really. It has nothing to do with me, to be honest. Like I'm just the adult in the room for the most part. I'm just a chauffeur. I bring them from A to B and let them really partake in these experiences. Because I had a teacher once tell me, and this is something that always sticks in my head with everything that I do. Once your brain grows, it's impossible to shrink. So the more that you expand, the more you expose these kids to these experiences and get them around amazing people and like-minded individuals like themselves, all you got to do at that point is just sit back and watch and just see the beauty that they create. And like I said, from the rides, going to different conventions and the different lunches that we've had and the conversations that we've had, you just learn so much. And one thing that taught me, being a part of the young adult committee and being a young adult myself, now's the best time to really partake a lot of my energy and my enthusiasm into what it is that they're doing, and watching their reaction to you know, they'll call me and tell me that, hey, there's something that's going on, or there's something that we want to do, and seeing how passionate and how excited they are to do those things. I mean, listen, man, there's a lot that I'll sacrifice to work with these kids, man. These kids are really, truly special kids. Being a part of it's really a fun experience as well. My number one goal for them, honestly, is just to get them more into leadership positions. I feel like at that age, I mean, I'm pretty sure all you guys know, when you're in middle school, there's so much things that you want to do, but the typical line, do you have McDonald's money? That's kind of what I feel like a lot of these kids are going through, is kind of like, you know, they have these things that they want to do, but they don't have the ability to do it. So actually having somebody, and honestly, like working with you guys, members of the Young Adult Committee and the NAACP, and the support that they get from us, man, you guys have no idea the impact that we're having on these kids. So I think the more that people in the community realize, at some point, it's not always about you. And to be honest, man, sometimes you're just, it's not your time anymore. Sometimes you gotta just back up the next generation. So my goal moving forward really is just to be the best advisor that I can for them, because they need it, man. They need more help. They need people in the community that have gone through these life experiences. They're going to college soon, so the more people that have gone through college that could talk to these kids about, you know, the next step in their lives, all it does is just, it helps you out more in the future, because now you actually have young people that will listen to you. They respect you. They want to hear from you. They want to hear your advice. And trust me, if you're a parent or if you work with kids, you know how hard it is to like get kids to want to listen to you, man. Like I can't even get kids to listen to me during recess. Like, you know, so that's one thing that I really do enjoy about being the advisor, and honestly working with kids, whether it's through the NAACP or as a teaching assistant. We were just talking about this earlier before the meeting started, working with kids at that age. Some people have it, some people don't. If you feel like you have it, you should use it. You know, if you feel like you have an ability to work with kids and talk with kids, be around them, man. Go talk to them. There's so much worse things that they could be doing out there. As long as your intentions, and you know that you're not going in it with negative intentions or with malice or any bad ill will, talk to these kids, man. Let them know, like, hey, this is life. It's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine. Some days there's going to be bad days, but you are equipped. You have what it takes to go through these issues. You just have to go through these issues to really have that confidence for yourself. So that's one of the things that when it comes to being a part of the youth council and being a leader and part of the youth leader within the youth council, and just a leader in general, it's really just your experiences and your confidence in overcoming certain challenges. But yeah, man, it's probably one of the best things that I have. I have a pretty long resume, and that's probably one of the best things that I have on there, is actually being able to work with the kids that I've been able to work with.
That's
So
amazing. I
thank
was like,
you.
talking about challenges, Ashton. I feel like he segued right into education.
What?
Oh, no, but
that an alley?
we started with youth council under 18 challenges. So Mr. Cohen, Oscar Cohen,
Oscar Cohen.
Oscar, because he prefers me to call him Oscar, right?
Yes.
Or
Doctor.
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 Uh-huh.
Dr. Cohen, explain
Well,
to us.
I don't know
about-
how I could follow that easily, but as there are two chapters of the NAACP in Rockland County. One is the NAACP chapter and one is the Spring Valley chapter. The Spring Valley chapter, of which I am the co-chair of the Education Committee, comprises pretty much maybe 2.5 of the 8 school districts in Rockland County. The East Ramapo Central School District and the Suffern School District. And it has some of Nanuet, and President of the NAACP branch will correct me when she gets to speak. There are 6 districts that fall under the NAACP branch. In the Spring Valley branch, which is pretty unusual, it's probably one of the most unusual school districts out of the 700 school districts in New York State. There are 30,000 children in East Ramapo who attend private schools and 10,000 children who attend public schools.
Wow.
About 14 years ago, the school board, which has 9 seats, 9 school board members run that district. About 14 years ago, by virtue of a change in demographics in the community, the school board was taken over by the private school community. So your 9 seats went to candidates, went to members who were advocating for the private school children and not for the public school children. And that led to a number of problems, and working closely with Mr. Trotman, the president of the branch, and Gene Fields, the co-chair of the Education Committee, we have had a long history of issues popping up where the public school children, back then it was about 8,000 children, the public school children have not had access to educational opportunities that have been available to all the other 7 school districts in Rockland County. The Spring Valley NAACP, along with parents, along with community members, traveled to Albany in 2013, took buses, said there's got to do something about this. The public school children, another fact, the public school children comprise about 96% of children of color in the public schools. The private schools are about 99% white children. So there was a very clear civil rights, social justice issue going on. And with our travels to Albany and meeting with legislators, there was an investigation done, and the investigator, who was a former federal prosecutor, Henry Greenberg, found that there was a major governance problem in the district. There was no checks and balances to board decisions or to the superintendent's decisions. And his number one recommendation was that there had to be legislation made that would provide for a monitor that had veto power over board and administrative decisions that were unreasonable. That legislation passed in the Assembly, now we're in 2014, passed in the Assembly and did not go to the floor for a vote in the Senate because the Senate was saying it was anti-Semitic, the legislation. So until 2018-19, the state had appointed monitors, but without the power that Mr. Greenberg had said must be there if the children who are attending the public schools are receiving a fair and equitable education. Since 2020, we've had some progress, very little, some progress, but the major problem in East Ramapo is that the private school community outnumbers the public school community in voting for board members, number one, and number two, for the budget, the local tax levy of the school district. Without that local tax levy, this district does get state aid, but doesn't get local tax monies, and therefore cannot provide the services that every other school district is providing.
Interesting.
Pardon?
No, I said
Interesting.
interesting.
In 2017, we had reached out and asked the New York Civil Liberties Union for help, given the dynamics of the district. The Civil Liberties Union said, there is a Voting Rights Act. The 1965 Voting Rights Act says that communities, it's a Civil Rights Act, it's part of what was done thanks to Martin Luther King's March on Washington, said that school districts must have representation from the people who are in that district. And if there can be proved that there's a preference for non-families of color, for people to be elected to the school board, that could be challenged in the sense of an at-large voting system, which is most public schools, which means everybody in the district votes for every board member whenever that seat comes up. We were never getting anybody elected because of the numbers of private school families in that district. They were always voting just their private school advocates and leaving the public school at a great loss. The New York Civil Liberties Union came along and said, we've done some demographic studies, and we believe that because we could draw a map that could, if it was a ward system rather than an at-large voting system, we could draw a map with 9 wards where we could prove at least 3 of those wards were discriminating, had a majority of minority people living there, voters. So you could get 3 seats on the board if they came out to vote, but you wouldn't get a majority. 9, majority is 5. And Mr. Trotman very clearly said, right now, our public school families don't have any voice on the board, 9-0. And we would like, even if we could get only 3, we would like to do that. And the Civil Liberties Union, with a major law firm that said we would provide pro bono services, went to federal court and argued this case, and the case cost millions of dollars. Now, the dollars that it cost the private, law firm that was giving its services pro bono to the NAACP, those services were not going to be charged. It was not going to cost any money. However, the district would have to spend of the district's money over $10 million for legal services. The pro bono, Latham and Watkins, the pro bono department said to the school board, in a meeting that Mr. Trotman and I were at, said to the school board, look, we know they can draw a map and we will prevail and we will get 3 seats. You don't have to pay a penny. We're not charging a penny. Just settle the case right now. The judge asked us to. And the board said, no, we want all 9 seats.
Wow.
So it went to trial. The federal judge ordered that the district change from an at-large system to a ward voting system, and today we have 3 members of the board who are representatives of the public school community, and 3 people of color. That does not solve the problem of East Ramapo. The problem of East Ramapo is there will never be enough money because the people who vote, the school board doesn't vote on the budget. They vote to put a budget forward. It's the community that votes an annual budget in every district in New York State except New York City and some of the largest cities. But of the 700 districts, almost all of them vote annually. And that local tax levy, which is a few $1 million, is what enhances public school education. We have the highest rate of rejections of the annual budget of any district in New York State. So we lose millions of dollars each year because the people who are voting no are people in the private schools that get services. They get transportation, they get breakfast and lunch monies, they get textbook monies, and they get special education service. They're not touched by the vote for the tax levy. They get their money. It's mandated in federal and state law. So there's no incentive for them to ever vote a budget. And because of that, our students don't get access to opportunities that students in all the other 7 school districts do. And so when you look at the academic scores, the graduation rates, the reading rates, the AP classes, East Ramapo students are scoring at the lowest rate of any district in the county. And it's really, in essence, a failed district. The New York Civil Liberties Union wrote a report 2 years ago saying East Ramapo is a 21st century Jim Crow education offering.
I would say I'm gonna have to stop you there because I know we can talk about this forever.
So, to end,
Okay.
and I apologize for that. To end, we are struggling to try to find a way to change the governance of East Ramapo so that children and families are not subject to the very overbalanced control over the public schools by the private schools.
So if you want to join in and read or find out more about this with Dr., we have education meetings. How often do we have that?
Once a month, we have an education meeting.
Talk about education meeting. We can just honestly go right into the videos of all the education meetings that has happened over the times with NAACP. Woody.
Got you.
us. Yes, we're back.
Before you talk about power to the people,
Power to monitor.
I said power to the people. It's true. Power to the people.
Talk to us.
I want to chime in about education because for the NAACP branch, as Oscar had said earlier, how NAACP has all other districts besides the Suffern, Spring Valley, East Ramapo, and a little bit of Nanuet. That it's sucky what's happening and messed up. I mean, I want to say some other choice words, but I won't. We'll keep it clean. What's happening in East Ramapo and Spring Valley, and what we're finding in NAACP is like the total opposite, right? And so going through the Jim Crow era of East Ramapo and how they labeled it, we're finding the difference in the children and them actually naming what the children look like, calling them the N-word, doing some crazy things to students other than, it coming from the systemic piece, right? And so we find that in our education systems as to what's happening. But we see that all over the county though, right? And so it actually goes in hand of the things that are happening. So I just wanted to mention that piece because we're also finding that part, but it's not as big as what's happening in East Ramapo.
But that's still something I have been hearing about that.
NAACP's always getting in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Always in
really.
trouble for it.
There was a news clip. I got it posted on our page, and then I remember it was one of the students when they were like, they're always calling us the N-word when we go out there. I was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Took you back for a
It's the
second.
fact that
Always.
it's the always.
Right.
Stop.
Right, it goes from generation to
Yeah.
generation, right? And so now we're seeing that even more, and it happening even to like the younger kids. That actually happened to my daughter, her being called the N-word. And of course, we had not at all, right? And so, and the writing in the bathroom, that was just in the news, right? And the kids on the basketball team calling the kid, making monkey noises, and so it's again generation to generation and happening.
I was like, well, with it happening to the actual students with the actual monitors, I know I found out about it. My co-host and the president, I guess. I don't know who to give credit to. I'll say that.
it was everyone. It was the young adult committee.
Created
It was everyone.
power to the monitor. Can you explain a little bit as to what that meant and what it means in general?
Definitely. So, just to touch on our advocacy and litigation within the Young Adult Committee, is we're pretty much targeting what's going on in our community, and we're trying to simplify it and give it to you guys in the best way possible. So, we thought of an idea and a slogan for our campaign to be "Power to the Monitor," power to East Ramapo. Essentially, to bring light to the situation and what's going on. A lot of people didn't realize what was happening in East Ramapo, the fact that it got to the Supreme Court. So a lot of these things are really just to bring light to, because I fall short a lot of the times. I'll see something, a whole legal document or some books or things like that I don't want to necessarily tap into. There's a lot of words there. So Power to the Monitor kind of brought me in, and a lot of us thought that, hey, this is going to be something that people are going to want eyes on. Like, what is it that we can put eyes on to immediately that we need action with and help for? So Calvin definitely took that to the next level and started bringing it to our Instagram and our social medias, and brought it to the rest of our team and our committees, and we put it all together and brought it to you guys.
Well, we have a video for it, so I'm excited. So you got
I love
surprises.
the video.
No, their videos are all about 2 minutes max. There is one video that's long, and that I believe that may have been the education. No, not the education. It was something else. I don't know what it is yet, but
It's
you'll
So
long
we'll
because
find
we do
it.
a lot.
Yeah,
we are
you'll find
outside.
All right, so let's watch the Power to the Monitor video so you guys can understand a little bit what it's about.
Hi, my name is Michael Wilder.
And I'm Nana Yoga Wilder. We are Rockland residents.
How would you feel if your child did not get the basic education that other public school students get?
Hello everyone, my name is Scott Bill King.
My name is Michael Wilder.
And I'm Nana Yoga Wilder.
My name is Calvin Demetrius.
My name is Nana Kwame Jebunya, and I'm the author of Friday Black, which in 2018 became a New York Times bestseller.
And I graduated from East Ramapo in the year of 2011.
And I am a member of the Spring Valley NAACP.
We are Rockland residents.
For me, Power to the Monitor means giving kids the same opportunity I was given.
To me, Power to the Monitor means equality.
To me, Power to the Monitor is our chance to hold those accountable.
To us, Power to the Monitor means oversight to ensure that the East Ramapo School Board makes decisions with the top priority being the best education for public school students.
Please support this bill.
To support Bill 85683A,
The passing of Bill A5683A,
And Assembly Bill A5683.
Power to the Monitor.
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 So I'm looking at my gym because we're ready to talk about, what was it, Ashton? What
The
pillar?
health and well-being.
Health and well-being. So there's a lot of committees that fall under that. One of them, well, Beyond the Wall is not a committee, but one of the things that the gym puts on annually is a Beyond the Wall event. Can you tell everybody a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so it was around 2018, which is when we really started seeing like decline of Spring Valley and like the arts and culture in Spring Valley. And I had a lot of artist friends, and everybody wanted to have a show, but there was no showcase. It's either you had to go to NAACP or the city, or you just had to travel very far to showcase your art. So me and a group of friends came together and created a showcase where we can feel good about ourselves, we can show our art, and also just talk about community, what it means to us, and just kind of start bringing life back into Spring Valley. I think, like I said, around that time, it started feeling a little hopeless. We started seeing a lot of construction, deconstruction, just a feeling of like hopelessness of like, what can we really do? And this is what I feel like I could do for my community. So that's what Beyond the Wall is.
Well, watching your videos, or putting the videos together, you guys never got a video. Putting the video together, I'm very impressed with everything you've done over the years. Just seeing the type of events you put on, from performing arts to just an art gallery, like, it's impressive. I really want you guys to see it. You got anything to say about it before the video go on, Ashton?
It's been a journey. Since 2018, it's been a lot. It's the evolution of Beyond the Wall, from being at just out in the open in the community, being at the Lewis Kirk Center, being at the MLK Center. It's steeped in the heart of Spring Valley. So it's definitely a community effort, and it's a huge thank you, Majeen, for putting on the event every year continuously. Because I know putting together these things is not fun. It's not a game, but when it gets down to it, it is definitely the highlight of the community and things. So.
Oh, I actually wanted to point that out too. That is purposeful of like the different spaces, because that was one thing that was happening too. Like certain community members were being told that they can't use certain spaces. And that we didn't have access to them, and that didn't feel right to me. So the first year started off at the Lewis Kirk Center because they were already kind of iffy about us using the space. And then 2022 we used the Martin Luther King Center because it was the hub of. To me, the Martin Luther King Center is like the hub of Spring Valley, and I really wanted to like kind of memorialize it. And then 2021 we used the Jones backyard because the Jones family. I don't know if you know the Jones family. They're amazing folks within the community, and they're always welcoming their house to anybody, any student that needs a place to be. You can go to the Jones house. So every space I've used is a highlight in Spring Valley, and I wanted to just point that out.
That's nice.
I didn't know that. Okay, Majin. Well, you guys ready for the video?
Of course.
Run that video.
All right, run that video. on the social video so we can see all the fun stuff we've done as an NAACP.
You can still help me.
Listen, that was just so you get your own camera.
You do. All right.
This is a fun episode. I'm not gonna lie. I'm laughing. Everything is happening. It's fun. This is fun for me.
Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah. You're such a natural.
I gotta project my voice. So they're telling me to project my voice. I hope you guys can all hear us out there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How we sounding?
We sounding good?
You sound great.
Like, please put a comment so we know we're working on our sound. We're getting better. We're learning more and more. We got people who does actual audio, so.
Lean into the mics when you talk.
They said lean into the mic. Ooh.
All right, so we're gonna start off with another one of our pillars. Again, the health and wellness being. So we're gonna talk about a little bit of our social committee with Valerie.
Yes,
So-
Valerie's here.
Yay!
I know you guys saw that amazing video. Cameras off. I know you guys saw that amazing video where we just have a lot of fun together. So tell us a little bit about your job as a social committee chair.
Yes. As the social committee chairperson, I would say I'm the expert on fun. So you can't be a team getting the hard work done without really bonding and getting to know one another. So the social committee is what brings us together, whether that's at a dinner table, whether that's outside, at a party, whether it's to a bonfire, whether it's to a Thanksgiving activity. We're always there. And just remember, in the midst of advocating and fighting for our school district and for our community, this is what keeps us going when we're able to laugh with one another and just being there for one another. Again, getting to see the other side of who we are beside the hard work that we do every day.
And this is the other side, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what was your other? You were going to tap into the sub-health as well.
Oh yeah, so
The other side.
we're.
NAACP, you guys.
Yeah, always working. So yeah, that's why we need the social committee, because we're always working, always thinking about work. But yeah, the sub-health committee. We actually started a sub-health committee in the recent years, and we have been thriving. We've done the health and wellness events for the last 3 years.
2
years? 2 years. 2 years. So that has been a great part of the NAACP's Young Adult Committee's journey, and to tap into mental health and physical health and healthy eating. So that's another thing that we're involved with.
I have a video.
Oh gosh.
I have a video.
Okay, Callie.
Woody, you ready? Here. This is what it's all about. Friendsgiving, right? Is this not what Friendsgiving is?
Yeah, we roasting each other until it's turkey.
Here we go. I do have a lot more videos in store for us. I know Ashton wanted to touch on a different type of pillar. Which pillar did you want to go into now?
So now we're tapping into the environmental and climate justice pillar of the NAACP. Sadly, this happens to tap into our education as well as the East Ramapo Central School District again because with this environmental justice, we have a lead issue with East Ramapo Central School District. So that's been something that's happened in our district for quite some time, at years at that. The news actually just did a report on it again. With the education committee, we also have Dr. Cohen, who can talk a little bit more about some of the things that go on within the East Ramapo School District, whether it be the lead, the education, the teachers, the fiscal issues, whatever it may be. But for the lead issues within East Ramapo Central.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, you recall we talked about the seriousness of the governance problem in not passing budgets and our students lacking so many resources. Over the years, all the buildings, there are 14 buildings in the East Ramapo School District. All 14 buildings are in major need of repair, including lead in water pipes in all of the buildings. Not all of the buildings are 100% full of lead, but all of the buildings are affected by areas that have lead in them, and the children can't drink the water out of them. So water is being brought in and provided. The primary issue, again, with the votes not there and never voting for a budget that would tax the local property owners, we are, and they just did a study about this, the 14 buildings are in need by 2027, 2028 will be $50 million in deficit. The overall needs for the repairs of the buildings are approximately $300 million. The only way to get that money is to get the community to vote for a capital bond, a referendum. And our community is known to defeat bonds and budgets because it doesn't serve their children's interests. So the environmental justice issue is a major issue in the East Ramapo School District. Probably way beyond the combined needs of all the other 7 school districts.
What do you think that needs to happen, in your opinion?
We need to find a way to change the governance so that the power of voting down budgets are no longer up to the community. Remember, they have 30,000 children. They outnumber the public school voters. And that's a tricky one to do, but we're looking into how to do that. Without that change, it will never change, and the district will literally implode. It will not be a school district. It's in survival mode right now.
If I can also, add on to that, because it's an issue of governance within the school, but also the village, because we've been seeing like the amount of construction and how it's unsafe. We've had a couple buildings, burnt down. That is an environmental issue because that means that whoever is running the building they're not being regulated. And so, in effect, that means our community is being harmed in terms of housing violations and codes. And if there's lead in the school, that you can only imagine what other buildings within our village has led to that has not been repaired, and we don't know how long.
It's like I live in one of those buildings where you turn on the faucet, it's literally muddy water coming out. Yeah. So
So
They
you,
add that on too.
that's important. That's true because it goes right
It's
connected all
all
together, and
connected.
who's maintaining the buildings and all those things. And so, do you think that there should not be a board? Is that what you're saying, Oscar? Right. And so, like, is there a school district to where there is no board, and that the state or some people run the school as opposed to community members?
Well, it's an important question. The big cities have no board.
Right.
So the mayors run those programs.
Right.
And then there are what's called the small city school districts, and they have no boards. We're just a normal school district, an abnormal school district. We're searching for a mechanism because it would need legislation, and then you would need people, legislators to vote. And we lost a number of very important people. Assemblywoman Jaffe, who was major commitment to the public schools. We lost Senator Elijah Melnick, major supporter. So yeah, we're working very hard with the New York Civil Liberties Union, with other groups, to try to find a solution to that governance problem. We don't have it yet.
Well, hopefully, with the new legislatures that came on board, that can something can happen in between that.
We're certainly hoping so. And we lost our local congressman in Mondaire Jones, who graduated from the Spring Valley High School and who is a major supporter of what the NAACP is. He was the president of the youth chapter.
So I actually have a video for the environment. Oh, no.
I was trying not to laugh on it because it was a serious moment.
I do, and it's a serious video.
It is.
It's about the environment.
No, it is. It's very serious.
Would you play the video for us, Deja? Yes, let me tell you.
members of George Floyd are in Rockland County tonight to honor his life.
Now, News 12's Nikita Ramos in Spring Valley right now with the very latest. Nikita.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Emotions are high here at Memorial Park in Spring Valley for a candlelight vigil to honor George Floyd and a number of others who've lost their lives to social injustice.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
That was George Floyd's cousin, Will Floyd, leading a march of protesters from the Spring Valley Police Department to the soccer field at Memorial Park. The Spring Valley NAACP Young Adult Committee holding this vigil in hundreds. Floyd says this vigil is about more than the tragic death of his cousin.
But you don't have to deal with George, all right? We have to deal with what's going on in this world today. We're always trying to climb up, and while we're trying to climb up, we're being kicked right back down. So it's important. So this is why I think it's very important for people to come out to these protests, for them to understand what's going on.
The NAACP Young Adult Committee hopes this vigil will encourage people to act on making a change at the polls. Now, we'll have more on this tonight at 10, but for now, we'll send it back to the studio. We're in Spring Valley. Nikita Ramos, News 12.
The NAACP met with the district Friday. Regional Director Wilbur Aldridge says they talked about the investigation and punishment for any students found involved, but also how to help players heal.
We know that teams are like families, so it's just something to one. The other members of the team are affected as well.
Aldridge says one option discussed was bringing student councils from home. Aldridge says having progress district.
People are upset. They are angry. They feel like they don't have any hope. That's why they're protesting. That's why they're rioting. And if we don't look and say this is the reason, police brutality, systematic racism, all of these things that have been going on, if we don't address the problem, we don't need to say a word.
One of the most amazing things about Rockland, just about Spring Valley in general, is just the amount of talent we have. And as I look and I see all of you out here right now, I just want to let you all know that when it comes to local elections, those are usually won by margins as slim as 200 to 300 votes. How many of you? How many people are out here right now? How many of you are actually registered to vote? Beautiful! For those of you who aren't, we have a table in the back with voter registration forms. It's alright if you're still not registered. If you know family who is still not registered, please bring those forms to them, Because at the end of the day, we could have as many protests, as many rallies, as many entertainers speak on it. But unless we do our part, nothing will change.
All over. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up really quickly because it is 8:30. We have so much fun. We can't even get through all the pillars. Wow,
They
we were
eat.
having-
Our plates been empty.
Okay, fine. We brought our lovely NAACP member here, Dania. She is having a toy drive. Can you tell us a little bit more about your upcoming toy drive? We do have a video of all your past toy drives.
There is?
Yeah. I got treats for everyone.
All right, so we're on, this is our 4th year that we're actually doing the toy drive. It's same location, same time, Martin Luther King Center. The toy drive is actually on Saturday, December 23rd. We are looking for donations, so it's new unused toys, and we're targeting the ages of newborn to 14-year-old. So the drop-off, you can drop it off at the Martin Luther King Center on Monday through Friday between 3 and 6:30, and the drop-off end date is December 22. So Friday, December 22nd is the last day that you can drop off toys. The toy drive itself is on December 23rd. We are also looking for volunteers, so if you can wrap gifts, you can hand out gifts, any talent that you have. Calvin's been doing this ever since day one, and his rapping game is...
Oh boy.
The toys are getting wrapped. That's all you gotta say.
It is the thought that counts.
He says it every year, and it is true. It's a fun time. It gets a little hectic, but it is really fun. And it is nice to see these kids running around with their new toys. It is a great opportunity to just see like the good that there is in the community. And I also enjoy the fact that we don't turn away any kids without a toy. Like, so every kid that comes to that door ends up getting a toy. Last year we had to do a run. Ashton and a couple other people went out to do a run for like, there were like 15 kids left at the door, and we went out and got toys. So if you can come out December 23rd to help and volunteer your time, drop off toys Monday through Friday between 3 and 6:30 at the Martin Luther King Center. You can reach out to anybody in regards to donations. We also are going to have a flyer on the site. I think it's up already. But yeah, December 2020.
So you ready for the toy drive video, Woody? Last video of the night? I'll be done with I have a lot more, but I could keep you guys here all night. And apparently nobody wants to stay that long with me. I edit all these videos since 5 o'clock. Fine, okay. Let me know when you're ready for us, Woody. Toy drive.
Guess I'm better alone. Drove by your house and saw that nobody was home, no. Yeah, I got it on my own. Independent chick, I buy my own to the ground now. Guess I'm better alone. Drove by your house and saw that nobody was home, no. Yeah, I got it on my own. Independent chick, I buy my own to the ground now. Guess I'm better alone. Drove by your house and saw that nobody was home, no. Yeah, I got it on my own. Independent chick, I buy my own to the ground now.
Great show, right?
Great. Thank you, Q.
Great show. Thank you, Q. Oh, Ashton too. You too over there.
Both of you.
Before we leave, I do want Miss Nicole Hines to please tell us a little bit.
Wow.
Miss Nikki Hines, tell us a little bit about the NAACP, NAACP, and the young adults, because we need their help.
Say a lot for people in that. Huh?
That's the look we was looking for.
So, the young adults in the NAACP branch are coming along, and looking more so to, come and be part of this fun podcast that you got going on here. So, I'm looking forward to the collaboration that both of you, both NAACP and Spring Valley, can come together and do, because as is said, we are all just one NAACP.
Yes, we are.
And so for us to come together and do things together for the betterment of our community and our county just makes much more sense.
I agree. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, there you guys have it. Another episode in the belt for Just a Thought podcast. We have one more episode left for the year.
Wow.
One more. Wow. We started. When did we start first episode? April, May.
No, it was May.
May. Yeah. Okay, so we did good. High five. Sorry, Midget. All right, so next year we definitely will have 12 episodes for you guys. We will come every first Monday of the month. That is the plan. We are still looking for help. This is a fun podcast to work with. Right, Woody and Joseph?
But 12 episodes comes 12 ideas, so please send those in.
Yes, send in all your future events, all your current events, so we can promote them for you. It's for free, so why not? Just send them to us. I love editing videos. No, I really don't. But please, by all means. Let's do an outro. Everyone introduce them. Well, say your name, who you are, and then where they can follow you, I guess, for NAACP purposes, not your personal social medias.
I don't have no social media.
Well, meaning what you do, like you do the toy drive.
How they get in contact with you.
Oh, okay, so Dania Legros, also known as D. I do the toy drive. I also try to come out to as many events as I can. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And that's who she is. Townsend?
Matt, Mr. Matt, you can find me at your local Spring Valley, just helping out. That's it. I mean, you know where to find me.
At your local Spring
As
Valley.
co-host, and just reach out to the NAACP's Instagram account. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Jean, you can actually follow me on Instagram because that's really where I have everything. So _NEDJINE, and
That's where she's at. I'll come back to me, Calvin.
Just like Ashton said, SVNAACP on Instagram. We have a few great people who, run the page, so shoot us a message. Definitely share our information because the world needs to see what's happening in our district. So then at least they can't say that we never tried to spread awareness.
Nikki Hines, president of the NAACP branch, NAACP.org. And I look forward to having more membership. Folks need to get involved. We need membership. We are about memberships, and we're also looking to make ourselves much more visible in the community so that folks know who we are and that we're here to help for anything, not to get you a piece of candy, but we're here to help with any social justice issues, any injustices.
And I'll have Woody get the last video ready. We'll close out with a video, community engagement. But I am your host and my co-host, Ashton. I am your host, Q. You can find me at the NAACP or Meet Next Gen. That's another one where definitely promote all things Rockland. You have anything else to say? Peace and blessings.
Peace, blessings, and enjoy your Thanksgivings.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Nice.
Bye. Woody, you can close us out with the video.
Good evening, Scott Young, the word for the day guru. So we're gonna wrap this episode up of the Friendsversary, or whatever they call it. I got you anyway. So tonight you heard the youth of the NAACP coming to you, giving you information about Ramapo, Spring Valley. We had Denaya come through. She's doing her toy drive. Nana Yoga. She's a soldier and she strives. Jamal came through. He sit and watched on the TV too. But Valerie came through and let you know exactly what she do. Jazzy was here supporting her mom, Nikki Hines. And one thing you understand, that they're gonna stand on them front lines. Woody's on the laptop and a whole lot of other stuff. All the technical difficulty wasn't his problem, so y'all don't even take it out on him. That's no bluff. Cusha, what can I say about you? The queen of the show. Got Aston on her side, and together they will go. Calvin come through. Tonight he wasn't too fly. He was laid down leisurely, but he's the hell of a guy. Dr. Cohan gave us information about all the things that people try to hide. But now we understand that we're woke, and they don't like that, and it hurts them inside. Majine was here. She's a little bit shy, but she run that beyond the wall, and she'll run it right up your ride. Aston, and Talad, and Michael is here also, and Kelly too. But they all came through to show love to the crew. I hope I ain't missed nobody, and we're here tonight. You've been listening to Just a Thought, and we're gonna all get it right. Peace and blessings.